Imagine two lands, divided by seas yet bound by history, where ancient empires once rose and fell, leaving behind a trail of timeless wonders. On one side, Italy, cradled in the heart of southern Europe, kissed by the Mediterranean and framed by the towering Alps. On the other, Turkey, straddling two continents, Europe and Asia, where the East meets the West in an eternal dance of cultures. Italy stretches like a boot into the sea, bordered by France, Switzerland, Austria, and Slovenia. Turkey bridges worlds, with Greece and Bulgaria to the northwest, Syria and Iraq to the southeast, and the legendary Bosphorus running through its heart. Italy is a mosaic of mountains, golden coastlines, rolling vineyards, and volcanic landscapes. Turkey unfolds like a living canvas, from the surreal terraces of Pamukkale, to the Cappadocian valleys shaped by time, to the turquoise Rivieras lapping at ancient ruins. In Italy, life flows with art, fashion, and the slow rhythm of La Dolce Vita. In Turkey, culture is steeped in Ottoman grandeur, Anatolian traditions, and bazaars buzzing with life. Both nations wear their history proudly, Roman ruins standing tall in Italy, Byzantine mosaics glowing in Turkey. Yet beyond history, each offers its own heartbeat, the Italian espresso mornings in sunlit piazzas, and Turkish tea poured endlessly beneath the shadow of minarets. Tourism is their lifeblood. Italy draws millions to Rome, Venice, and Florence, while Turkey captivates with Istanbul, Antalya, and Cappadocia. Travelers in Italy find safety in well-worn roads and a highly developed tourism scene. Turkey too has grown as a secure haven for adventurers, balancing tradition with warm hospitality. Expect in Italy the romantic glow of Renaissance cities, alpine air in the Dolomites, and Mediterranean breezes along Amalfi's cliffs. Expect in Turkey balloon rides at dawn, beaches that whisper myths, and mountains that guard sacred secrets. Food tells another story, Italy with its pasta, pizza, and wine, Turkey with its kebabs, mezes, and sweets dripping with honey. Festivals, art, and heritage weave threads of joy in both countries, Venice's carnival, Turkey's whirling dervishes, each a performance of soul. Landscapes differ yet echo, Italy's vineyards and olive groves mirror Turkey's fertile Anatolian plains, their coastlines both sing to the Mediterranean. Two countries, two worlds, yet together offering a single promise, a journey that stirs the senses and awakens the spirit. Stay with us as we cross seas and centuries, through mountains, ruins, rivers, and skies, to uncover the treasures of Italy and Turkey. Italy. 1. The Dolomites. High in northern Italy, the Dolomites rise like jagged teeth against the sky, pale stone cliffs that catch fire at sunset. In summer, alpine meadows burst with wildflowers, trails winding past shimmering lakes. Autumn drapes the forests in gold, every ridge a painter's dream. Winter transforms valleys into pristine white wonderlands, inviting skiers and adventurers. Spring breathes life again, with streams rushing from melting snow. The Dolomites are best in late summer when the light lingers long, and the mountains glow with a warmth only nature can paint. 2. Lake Como. Cradled between mountains, Lake Como is where still waters mirror pastel villages and elegant villas. In spring, wisteria climbs the walls and the shores bloom with color. Summer invites boat rides, a slow drift past gardens and stone balconies kissed by sunlight. Autumn quiets the crowds, the lake reflecting auburn hills. Winter brings mist, when silence feels sacred. To truly feel Lake Como's romance, visit in spring, when flowers bloom and the world feels renewed. 3. Amalfi Coast. South of Naples, cliffs plunge into the sea along the Amalfi Coast, villages perched like jewels above turquoise waves. Summer is a festival of color, lemon groves, sunlit beaches, and boats dotting the waters. Spring offers gentler warmth, flowers spilling from balconies. Autumn brings crisp skies, perfect for hiking trails above the coast. Winter strips the crowds away, leaving silent villages wrapped in sea spray. For magic without the chaos, autumn is the season to go, when the coast feels like it belongs only to you. 4. Tuscany's vineyards. Rolling hills, cypress-lined roads, and endless rows of vines, Tuscany is Italy's pastoral masterpiece. Summer fills the air with the hum of cicadas and the fragrance of ripe grapes. Spring dresses the hills in green, wild poppies painting the fields. Autumn is harvest time, when the land glows in shades of amber, and wine flows generously. Winter is quiet, villages cloaked in fog and fire-lit warmth. The best season is autumn, when Tuscany becomes not just a landscape, but a feast for the soul. 5. Cinque. Along the rugged Ligurian coast lies Cinque, 5 villages clinging to cliffs, painted in colors that glow against the sea. In spring, wildflowers bloom on the hillsides, and trails open for hikers eager to wander from village to village. Summer fills the coves with swimmers, kayakers, and boats drifting under the sun's shimmer. Autumn brings cooler air, and with it the grape harvest, vineyards above the villages buzzing with workers and wine tastings by the sea. Winter quiets everything, fishing boats sway gently in empty harbors, and travelers find solitude on once busy paths. The best time to come is autumn, when the villages glow in golden light, and both land and sea seem to whisper their secrets. 6. Venice. Venice is a city born from water, its canals winding like veins through a labyrinth of stone and story. In spring, blossoms soften the bridges, and gondola rides glide under skies of pale blue. Summer brings festivals, boats racing across the lagoon, piazzas alive with music, tourists filling every corner. Autumn drapes the city in mist, the canals reflecting lanterns as the crowds fade away. Winter belongs to carnival, masks, costumes, and the echo of centuries-old revelry. Come in autumn, when the city breathes slowly again, and every echoing step feels like walking through a dream. 7. Mount Etna. On Sicily's eastern shore, Mount Etna rises, Europe's highest and most active volcano. Spring brings carpets of green on the lower slopes, hikers climbing trails alive with birdsong. In summer, the mountain smolders under heat, cable cars lifting visitors close to its craters, and lava caves offering shade. Autumn cools the air, and vineyards at Etna's feet burst with harvest, tasting wines grown in volcanic soil. Winter transforms Etna into a snowy kingdom, skiers carving slopes above steaming vents. The best season to visit is autumn, when fire and earth meet in harmony, and Etna offers both danger and beauty. 8. Florence. Florence, the cradle of the Renaissance, where every street feels like a gallery, every square a story. In spring, the Arno River glitters beneath bridges, and gardens awaken in a burst of roses and wisteria. Summer brings crowded piazzas, but also open-air concerts, art festivals, and golden evenings on rooftop terraces. Autumn paints the Tuscan hills around the city in amber, perfect for day trips to vineyards and olive groves. Winter quiets the crowds, the Ephesus masterpieces waiting in calm halls, and Christmas markets lighting up the city. Visitors can wander museums, sketch beneath Michelangelo's David, or climb the Duomo for sweeping views. Spring offers gentle weather for walking tours, while autumn pairs perfectly with wine tastings and countryside escapes. Summer invites night strolls by lantern-lit streets, gelato in hand, while music drifts across the river. Winter invites reflection, moments of silence among statues and frescoes, the city wrapped in candlelight. The best time to embrace Florence is autumn, when art, wine, and history flow together in a harmony as timeless as the city itself. 9. Sardinia. Off Italy's western coast, Sardinia rises from the sea like a fortress of rock and beauty. Spring turns the island into a paradise of wildflowers, shepherds guiding flocks through green valleys. Summer belongs to its coasts, white sands, turquoise waters, diving into coves that feel untouched by time. Autumn slows the rhythm, festivals erupting in villages, wine flowing from cellars, and hiking trails offering solitude. Winter reveals Sardinia's rugged side, mountains capped in snow, shepherd fires burning in stone houses. Travelers swim, sail, and dive in summer, hike and taste local wines in autumn, and explore archaeology in the quiet of winter. Spring invites exploration of ancient nuragic ruins, meadows buzzing with bees and bright skies overhead. Summer offers adventure on the waves, windsurfing, snorkeling, and sailing across hidden bays. Autumn brings cultural immersion, folk dances, music, and local feasts that bind visitor and islander together. The best time to come is summer, when Sardinia unveils its coastlines in full brilliance, but autumn holds the truest soul of the island. 10. Milan. Milan, the beating heart of modern Italy, where fashion, history, and ambition walk side by side. Spring fills the city with blossoms in Parco Sempione and exhibitions at the world's design capital. Summer buzzes with rooftop aperitifs, football matches, and nights of high energy. Autumn sharpens the air, galleries open their doors with new exhibitions, and fashion weeks command global attention. Winter lights the city with Christmas markets, La Scala opera, and warm cafes filled with locals. Visitors can stand before Da Vinci's Last Supper, marvel at the Gothic spires of the Duomo, or shop along Via Monte Napoleon. Spring encourages slow strolls, sketching by fountains, or enjoying fresh gelato under mild skies. Summer brings life outdoors, cycling, concerts, and nightlife beneath neon lights. Autumn blends culture and glamour when the city wears its most sophisticated attire. Winter is a time for reflection, hushed evenings in cathedrals and the echo of music in ancient halls. The best season to catch Milan is autumn, when its cultural pulse beats strongest, and elegance is at its height. 11. Rome. Rome, the eternal city, where ancient ruins rise beside bustling streets, and history whispers at every corner. In spring, cherry blossoms soften the Forum, and evenings invite gelato walks through Trastevere. Summer turns the city golden, festivals filling piazzas, and the Colosseum glowing under floodlights. Autumn cools the air, making strolls through ruins and Vatican gardens perfect for long days. Winter transforms Rome into a city of lights, Christmas markets under the shadow of St. Peter's Dome, nativity scenes glowing. Visitors can wander the Pantheon, toss coins in the Trevi Fountain, or climb the Spanish Steps for city views. Spring offers picnics by the Tiber, Easter ceremonies, and open-air concerts. Summer invites night tours of the Colosseum, lively street performances, and late dinners under the stars. Autumn is for art, quiet museums, open-air markets, and wine flowing in trattorias. Winter brings solemn beauty, hushed basilicas, and cozy cafes where history feels alive. The best time is autumn, when Rome breathes at a slower pace, yet its timeless grandeur shines brightest. 12. Pompeii. At the foot of Mount Vesuvius lies Pompeii, a city frozen in time by fire and ash. In spring, the ruins bloom with wildflowers, their colors softening the silence of ancient streets. Summer's heat blazes on the stones, yet guided walks reveal mosaics, villas, and echoes of Roman life. Autumn cools the sight, making exploration of temples and amphitheaters less hurried and more profound. Winter strips Pompeii bare, quiet paths, misty mornings, and the volcano looming solemnly above. Travelers walk ancient roads, step inside preserved houses, and imagine lives paused in a single moment. Spring offers mild weather for wandering, photography, and connecting with history in bloom. Summer invites tours at dawn or dusk, when shadows stretch across ancient walls. Autumn allows for reflection, less crowded, more intimate, the city's stories unfolding slowly. Winter gives the ruins a haunting stillness, every step echoing louder than the last. The best time to visit is autumn, when Pompeii feels alive with memory yet gentle in its silence. 13. Capri. Off the Bay of Naples floats Capri, an island of cliffs, caves, and eternal blue waters. In spring, the island awakens with flowers spilling over whitewashed terraces and the scent of lemons in the air. Summer brings glamour, yachts crowding the harbors, swimmers diving into the crystalline blue grotto. Autumn slows the rhythm, trails opening to hikers, and sunsets bathing the cliffs in warm light. Winter leaves Capri quiet, its villages hushed, waves echoing against the rocks. Visitors ride boats to see caves, sip espresso in the Piazzetta, or climb to viewpoints where the horizon stretches endless. Spring offers hikes along blooming cliffs and evenings filled with music drifting from cafes. Summer is for beach clubs, sailing, and mingling with the island's vibrant crowds. Autumn grants peace, walks along coastal paths, cool breezes, and space to breathe. Winter is for solitude, where the island feels like a secret kept just for you. The best season to come is spring, when Capri shines fresh, bright, and alive. 14. Pisa. Pisa, a city forever tilted toward the sky, where the leaning tower has become both symbol and spectacle. In spring, fields around the city brighten, and students fill piazzas with music and chatter. Summer brings tourists from across the world, cameras race to hold the famous tower in playful poses. Autumn offers quieter streets, golden sunsets casting soft light on marble facades. Winter cloaks the city in mist, the tower rising like a ghost from centuries past. Visitors climb its spiraled steps, gaze across rooftops, and wander the cathedral square where history still breathes. Spring invites bike rides along the Arno River, breezes soft and skies clear. Summer turns Pisa into a carnival of energy, festivals, and markets buzzing late into the night. Autumn slows the city, perfect for reflection and photographs without the crowds. Winter gives the tower an almost mystical solitude, every tilt more profound in silence. The best time to visit is autumn, when Pisa glows quietly, a masterpiece unhurried. 15. Sicily's coastline. Sicily, Italy's island jewel, is where land and sea entwine in a symphony of beauty. In spring, orange blossoms perfume the air, and fishermen return with nets heavy from the sea. Summer paints the coast with brilliance, white sands, aquamarine waters, and families basking in sun. Autumn harvests not only grapes but traditions, festivals spilling into the streets with music and dance. Winter reveals the raw coastline, waves pounding against cliffs, castles guarding silent shores. Travelers explore Greek temples, dive into coves, or hike coastal trails shaded by olive groves. Spring invites sailing and feasting, when both land and sea are generous. Summer is for swimming, snorkeling, and endless afternoons under Sicilian skies. Autumn blends flavor and culture, from harvest feasts to ancient ruins bathed in golden light. Winter is for solitude, windswept beaches, cozy trattorias, and stories told by fire. The best season is summer, when Sicily's coastline is at its brightest, alive with sun, song, and saltwater joy. Italy has sung to us with mountains and seas, cities of art and ruins of empires, islands kissed by eternity. Yet across the waters, another land awaits, where continents meet, where history folds into legend, and landscapes defy imagination. From Rome's ancient stones to Istanbul's timeless domes, the journey is only halfway begun. Now, we cross into Turkey, a land of empires, of deserts and seas, of skies filled with balloons and ruins carved in stone. Let us step into its heart, one destination at a time. 1. Cappadocia. Cappadocia, a dream carved in stone, where valleys ripple like waves frozen in time. In spring, wildflowers soften the rugged cliffs, and hiking trails win past fairy chimneys and hidden churches. Summer mornings bring the sky alive, hundreds of hot air balloons drifting above the surreal landscape. Autumn cloaks the valleys in golden hues, perfect for horseback rides through ancient trails once walked by traders. Winter dusts Cappadocia in snow, fairy chimneys rising like castles in a silent white kingdom. Visitors can wander underground cities, carved deep into earth, where entire communities once hid from invaders. Spring offers fresh breezes for trekking, photography, and quiet picnics in flowered meadows. Summer invites sunrise balloon rides, cave hotel stays, and late-night dinners under stars. Autumn gives calm, villages less crowded, wines poured from local vineyards, evenings filled with warmth. Winter reveals magic, frosted landscapes, cozy fires in cave dwellings, and the stillness of another world. The best time to visit is summer, when the sky itself becomes a festival of color. 2. Pamukkale. White terraces cascade down a hillside in Pamukkale, shimmering like frozen waterfalls under the sun. In spring, turquoise pools mirror blossoming fields, and visitors wade barefoot through warm mineral waters. Summer brings brightness, the limestone glowing under blue skies, as travelers bathe in Cleopatra's Pool, an ancient spring dotted with marble ruins. Autumn softens the air, making walks across the terraces gentler, and the nearby ruins of Hierapolis easier to explore. Winter veils the terraces in mist, steam rising from warm pools, creating a landscape both strange and serene. Visitors can swim in thermal waters, explore Roman theatres above, and photograph terraces glowing at sunset. Spring offers healing baths and hikes through flowered valleys surrounding the site. Summer invites long soaks in natural pools, the sun warming ancient stones. Autumn brings calm and reflection, fewer crowds, and golden evenings on the hills. Winter whispers peace, when terraces glisten in frost, and hot water flows like a secret river. The best season is spring, when Pamukkale feels like both a wonder and a sanctuary. 3. Istanbul. Istanbul, city of two continents, where east and west meet across the waters of the Bosphorus. In spring, tulip festivals light the parks, and ferries glide through breezes scented with blossoms. Summer fills bazaars with life, rooftop cafes buzzing, and the call to prayer echoing over golden domes. Autumn drapes the skyline in soft light, a season for long walks through Sultanahmet and the spice markets. Winter brings snow, domes, and minarets crowned in white, the city hushed yet alive. Visitors stand in awe at Hagia Sophia, explore Topkapi Palace, or sail between continents on the Bosphorus. Spring offers vibrant strolls through gardens, lively street music, and ferry rides at sunset. Summer is for rooftop evenings, street food adventures, and vibrant nights that never seem to end. Autumn welcomes reflection, quiet museum visits, warm tea by the water, and skies tinted amber. Winter offers coziness, spiced drinks in grand bazaar cafes, hushed mosques glowing with candlelight. The best time to visit is spring, when Istanbul blooms with color and connection. 4. Ephesus. Ephesus, once the pride of the Roman world, where marble streets still echo with footsteps of history. In spring, roses climb old stone walls, and breezes carry the scent of orchards through ancient ruins. Summer floods the site with sunlight, tourists wandering beneath grand colonnades and theatres that once held thousands. Autumn cools the land, making the walk to the Library of Celsus feel like a stroll back in time. Winter drapes the ruins in quiet mist, the great amphitheatre empty but resonant with memory. Travelers wander temples, markets, and mosaics, each step a dialogue with the past. Spring invites slow explorations, when ruins glow against blooming hillsides. Summer brings music and performances, reenactments that revive the city's ancient spirit. Autumn is for reflection, when the ruins breathe calmly, free of the summer crowds. Winter feels solemn, the silence heavy, but beautiful for those who seek intimacy with history. The best time to come is autumn, when Ephesus opens her arms without rush, letting you linger in her stories. 5. Antalya. Antalya, the gateway to Turkey's turquoise coast, where the sea sparkles and cliffs plunge into endless blue. In spring, orange blossoms perfume the air, and boat tours carry visitors along glowing coves. Summer turns the beaches golden, parasailers dotting the skies and swimmers diving into warm waves. Autumn softens the light, perfect for hiking the Lycian Way or exploring ancient ruins hidden along the coast. Winter quiets the beaches, but snow on the Taurus mountains means skiers are only hours away. Travelers wander Kalechi, the old town, with its cobblestone streets and Ottoman houses, sipping tea by the harbor. Spring invites sailing, snorkeling, and exploring waterfalls that roar with melted snow. Summer is a festival of sea and sand, where nightlife hums along the waterfront. Autumn is for adventurers, hiking, paragliding, and wandering ruins in cooler air. Winter balances sea and snow, sunlit mornings by the water, afternoons on mountain slopes. The best season to feel Antalya's dual magic is spring, when land, sea, and mountain all open their doors at once. 6. Mount Ararat. Mount Ararat, the snow-crowned giant, legend's home where Noah's Ark is said to have come to rest. In spring, wildflowers bloom on its lower slopes, shepherds guiding flocks as rivers swell with melted snow. Summer reveals its harsh beauty, trekkers climbing glacier, and mountaineers chasing its summit. Autumn paints the valleys below in russet tones, a perfect backdrop for long treks under wide skies. Winter turns Ararat into a fortress of ice, storms sweeping its ridges, silence ruling the heights. Adventurers climb, camp, and test their strength, while locals share stories of myth and mountain. Spring invites photographers, botanists, and hikers to trace paths alive with color. Summer challenges climbers with altitude and endless horizons. Autumn is kinder, a season for long walks and reflection, the mountain watching in patience. Winter is fierce, but for those who dare, its solitude is unmatched, an encounter with nature at her most powerful. The best time to stand beneath Ararat's shadow is summer, when her peak is reachable and her legends tangible. 7. Bodrum. Bodrum, a seaside jewel where whitewashed houses tumble down hillsides to the Aegean's blue embrace. In spring, bougainvillea spills across balconies, and fishermen mend nets as sailboats return to the harbor. Summer transforms the town into a playground of sea and music, beach clubs pulsing, yachts sailing to hidden bays. Autumn slows the rhythm, the sea still warm, the evenings gentler, perfect for strolling along the castle walls. Winter wraps Bodrum in calm, its narrow streets hushed, cafes glowing with quiet conversations. Travelers explore the ruins of the mausoleum of Halicarnassus, wander bazaars, or dive into waters clear as glass. Spring invites sailing, gentle swims, and market days alive with color. Summer is all about sunlit adventures, snorkeling, nightlife, and lazy afternoons on the deck of a boat. Autumn is for reflection, boat rides into still waters, and long dinners beneath cooling skies. Winter gives Bodrum back to the locals, when life slows and the sea whispers in solitude. The best time to visit is autumn, when Bodrum offers both warmth and peace. 8. Troy. Troy, where myth meets earth, where the echoes of Homer's epic still linger in the soil. In spring, the plain around Troy blooms green, making the ruins feel alive with renewal. Summer brings blazing sun over ancient walls, travelers imagining warriors and wooden horses. Autumn cools the land, a season for long walks among stone gates and temples without rush. Winter veils the sight in mist, history heavy, the ruins quiet under cloudy skies. Visitors stand before walls that once defended a legend, gaze at reconstructed towers, and feel the gravity of millennia. Spring offers mild weather for wandering fields once drenched in battle cries. Summer invites storytelling, guides painting scenes of Achilles and Hector under a fierce sun. Autumn creates intimacy when fewer voices interrupt the whispers of history. Winter gives solemnity when silence turns myth into something hauntingly real. The best season is spring, when Troy feels reborn, its ruins framed by life. 9. Lake Van. High in eastern Turkey lies Lake Van, vast and shimmering, a mirror for mountains and sky. In spring, wildflowers trace its shores, and ferries glide toward Akdamar Island with its ancient Armenian church. Summer warms the waters, and locals dive from piers, swimming in the world's largest soda lake. Autumn scatters flocks of birds across the lake, the air crisp, reflections sharp and clear. Winter freezes the landscape, mountains snow-capped, villages wrapped in silence. Visitors wander island monasteries, taste the region's famous breakfast spreads, or cycle along the windswept shore. Spring offers serenity, picnics on green banks, hikes in cool air, and blossoms softening the ruggedness. Summer invites swimmers, boat rides, and fishermen casting nets against sunsets. Autumn is for birdwatchers and seekers of stillness, as migrating flocks turn the sky into theater. Winter delivers solitude, the lake vast and silent, the kind of silence that feels eternal. The best time to experience Lake Van is summer, when its waters sparkle like a jewel in the mountains. 10. Göbekli Tepe. Göbekli Tepe, the world's oldest known temple, rising from the hills of southeastern Turkey like a message from prehistory. In spring, green grasses sway around the site, and the carved stones seem to wake beneath soft light. Summer bathes the pillars in relentless sun, their animal carvings sharp against the heat-shimmering air. Autumn cools the hills, and the silence deepens, giving visitors time to linger with these mysteries. Winter cloaks the ruins in mist, turning the site into something otherworldly, as if the past is breathing again. Travelers walk among T-shaped pillars carved 12,000 years ago, still standing as guardians of forgotten rituals. Spring offers clarity, the land vibrant, the air fresh, the site easy to explore. Summer challenges with heat, yet rewards with the thrill of standing before the dawn of civilization. Autumn is for reflection, when the hills are quiet, and the stones seem to hum with memory. Winter feels timeless, the sight blending into fog, as if history itself is hiding in the cold. The best season to visit is autumn, when the past and present meet gently under cool skies. 11. Konya. Konya, land of mystics, where whirling dervishes spin in rhythm with the soul of centuries. In spring, tulips brighten the gardens around mosques, and pilgrims gather in celebration. Summer heats the plains, but nights glow with music, poetry, and Sufi ceremonies. Autumn cools the city, perfect for wandering its markets and courtyards without hurry. Winter deepens the mysticism, snow falling over Mevlana's mausoleum, the air filled with prayer and silence. Travelers come to witness the dance of devotion, to read poetry, or to sit in quiet tea houses listening to the city's heartbeat. Spring offers festivals, open-air concerts, and cultural joy. Summer invites night gatherings, lights dancing across the city as verses echo in the air. Autumn is gentler, a season for learning, listening, and reflection. Winter feels sacred, when the city slows and every step echoes with devotion. The best time to visit Konya is winter, when its spirit is most profound, and the dervishes whirl like snowflakes in eternity. 12. Nemrut Dağ, Mount Nemrut. At dawn on Mount Nemrut, colossal stone heads stare into the rising sun, their silence heavy with ancient power. In spring, wildflowers scatter across the slopes, softening the throne of forgotten kings. Summer brings travelers climbing in twilight, waiting for the sun to set fire behind the statues. Autumn sharpens the view, the air crisp, every star at night blazing like a diamond. Winter buries the mountain in snow, the giant heads standing like ghosts in the white. Visitors hike the summit, sit among stone gods, and watch light shift across faces carved over 2,000 years ago. Spring offers gentle hikes and skies painted with clarity. Summer invites sunset vigils, the mountain glowing in fiery hues. Autumn creates perfect conditions, cool air, fewer crowds, and nights alive with starlight. Winter offers solitude, but demands courage, the statues emerging through drifts like forgotten titans. 13. Fethiye. Fethiye, where turquoise waters meet ancient Lycian tombs carved into cliffs. In spring, the harbor fills with yachts, and paragliders drift from Babada Mountain into skies of endless blue. Summer transforms the coast into a playground, boat trips to hidden coves, swimming in the blue lagoon at Oludeniz. Autumn softens the beaches, the Lycian Way Trail calling hikers to follow paths kissed by history. Winter quiets the town, waves rolling against the shore as locals gather in cozy taverns. Travelers can wander bustling markets, explore sunken cities by kayak, or take to the skies on one of the world's most famous paragliding routes. Spring invites adventurers with fresh winds, hikes, and lively evenings by the marina. Summer bursts with energy, sailing, diving, nightlife under stars. Autumn balances beauty with peace, golden days made for reflection. Winter is intimate, a season to know the true, quiet soul of Fethiye. The best time to come is spring, when sea and sky, mountain and market, all open in harmony. 14. Ani Ruins. On Turkey's eastern border lie the ruins of Ani, once a medieval capital, now a ghost of stone and silence. In spring, fields bloom around the crumbling cathedrals, making the city of 1,000 churches feel alive again. Summer sun strikes the plains, casting long shadows through broken arches and fallen walls. Autumn sharpens the air, the ruins lonely but breathtaking beneath orange skies. Winter turns Ani into a frozen dream, snow dusting shattered towers, silence absolute. Travelers walk through ruined gates, touch walls that saw empires rise and fall, and hear only wind as their companion. Spring offers contrasts, flowers blooming against fractured stone. Summer is for wanderers who don't mind the heat, chasing history under open skies. Autumn grants reflection, every ruin painted in glowing light. Winter is solemn, haunting, a place where time feels stopped forever. The best time to wander is autumn, when the ruins seem to breathe under golden skies. 15. Black Sea Coast. The Black Sea coast of Turkey is wild, green, and untamed, where mountains drop straight into stormy seas. In spring, tea plantations climb steep hillsides, and villages wake to mist drifting through valleys. Summer brings golden beaches, lively fishing towns, and festivals bursting with music. Autumn deepens the greens, forests burning with red and gold, rivers swollen with rain. Winter is fierce, storms crashing against cliffs, waves roaring like ancient drums. Travelers can hike through Kaka mountains, sip tea in Rize, or explore monasteries hidden in emerald valleys. Spring is for hiking trails, waterfalls rushing, and locals sharing fresh harvests. Summer invites swimming, sailing, and evenings in lively seaside cafes. Autumn offers photographers heaven, landscapes painted in every shade of green and gold. Winter reveals the coast's raw soul, a reminder of nature's untamed power. The best time to come is summer, when the Black Sea smiles, welcoming travelers into its fierce but generous embrace. We've walked the cobbled streets of Rome and Istanbul, where empires rose and fell, yet still breathe in every stone. We've sailed the Amalfi and Antalya coasts, each wave carrying the rhythm of cultures that shaped civilizations. We've hiked the Dolomites and Mount Ararat, mountains standing as giants on either side of the Mediterranean. We've stood in Pompeii's silence and Troy's myth, ruins that whisper stories older than memory. And we've drifted on Lake Como and Lake Van, where water mirrors both sky and soul. Italy gave us art, passion, and la dolce vita, the sweet life that lingers long after you've gone. Turkey offered mystery, wonder, and the bridge between worlds, where East and West clasp hands. Together, they showed us two halves of a greater whole, beauty that transcends borders. Yet still, there are corners left untouched, Italy's Aeolian Islands, where fire meets sea, or Turkey's hidden village of Amasra, where time slows to a heartbeat. These are the whispers beyond the postcards, treasures waiting for those who dare to look closer. But remember, travel is more than sights, it's respect. In Italy, honor traditions, slow down at the table, dress modestly in sacred spaces, and greet with warmth. In Turkey, remove shoes at mosques, accept tea as a gift of friendship, and listen more than you speak. Both countries welcome travelers not as strangers, but as temporary citizens of their timeless stories. And now, traveler, the choice is yours. Will you simply watch, or will you journey with us? Because every video we make is a door, behind it waits a world you could miss if you scroll past. Don't just watch history, landscapes, and legends disappear into the feed. Be part of this voyage, subscribe, join the community, and let the next adventure find you. Trust me, you don't want to be the person saying, "I'll watch later." Later never comes. Hit that subscribe button now, and let Italy and Turkey be only the beginning.